Good morning. Good
Morning, sir.
morning. Yes, it's really good to hear your voices, right? And I am so happy to be here today. I can see some of our um old Nova University students, and it's making me happy, right? It's making me happy that you guys are here. The guys that came early, all right, the first 5 persons, please do not forget to claim your airtime, right? Because I love to reward punctuality. Our resource person is here already. He is here already, and we are going to start, right? Um, please make sure you stay till the ending of this or of this webinar. In fact, God said there is absolutely no way you are not going to stay till the end, because our resource person, I have known him for a while now. I've known him. He's a brother, and he's a mentor to even me myself. You understand? So he is a person whose lifestyle has affected and improved my own lifestyle in some areas of my life, and I actually look up to him. So, as I've promised you guys in Nova University, I'm going to bring resourceful people. People that I know that these people are actually resourceful people. They are making waves in their own corner of the world, right? I am going to bring them here so that they can help you grow as well. All right. That is the whole point of Nova University. That is why it's a mentorship based learning platform. The people that are coming to speak to you are people with results, are people that have gotten results in their life. And they are coming here to tell us exactly the way they got their results. That is why Nova University is different from Udemy. That is why it is different from any other learning platform you're going to see out there, right? That is what the university system, our university system that we pay money to go and learn. That is where they have failed us. You will see someone, you will see a professor or a lecturer teaching business 101, how to start a successful business. And this person teaching you business 101, he has never run a business for once in his life. He's only reading textbooks to you. So how do you expect you, the student, to be successful? So Nova University is different in the sense that the people that are here coming to speak to you, they have undeniable results. They know how to get there. They know how they can help you get there, and that's the difference. So we're going to be bringing our resource person online right now. Please, I'm going to advise that you make sure you mute your microphone throughout. All right. Make use of the chat section. If you want to say anything, please you can come to the chat section and and type, and we are going to be able to go ahead and respond to your inquiries. All right. Um, Before we start, I need to say something very important. The reason why we came up with this topic is because I noticed that for you to change your life, for you to change your finances, because we are always talking about money, how to make your first $1,000, how to get your first client, how to do this, how to do that. Before you can change your finances, you must first change the quality of life you live. You must first improve the quality of life you live. Go and look at every high achiever out there, every person that is on top of their profession, that is on top of, that has achieved whatever it is they want to achieve in life. Go and look at their life. They don't just live their life anyhow. They don't live their life anyhow. They follow a certain routine. Maybe they wake up at exactly this time of the day, and then they do this and they do that. I've noticed that the quality of life you live automatically translates into your earning capability and your fulfillment as a whole, as a person. So that is why we are going to be incorporating self-help and self-development, webinars into our Hangout with Big Sam, into our Nova University Hangout. We are going to be incorporating classes like this, right? Because I mean, this is not just where we are going to come here and say, yeah, learn this, learn that, learn this, learn that, start making money on Upwork. No, as a Nova University student, you have to be a completely different person. In the next 10 years, when you are going to look back, you have to be able to track the effect of Nova University in your life. Not just because you are earning more, but because you have become a different kind of person that is moving towards your goal. All right. So without further ado, please, I want you to come to the chat section right here, and I want you to help me appreciate Mr. Babafemi. Please help me appreciate Mr. Babafemi. Mr. Babafemi is the founder of definitions by adebajo.com. All right, I used to share a whole lot of his, of his write-ups on our platform. Please come to the chat section and help me appreciate him. Thank you so much, sir, for making out time to come and speak to us. We really, really appreciate it. He's also a Nova University mentor. He has been here before, right? He has been here before to speak to us on freelancing, and we called him again. He was very, 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 very happy to, to come back and speak to us, and we really, really appreciate it, sir. We do not take it for granted. We do not take it for granted. We will never take it for granted. All right, we will never take it for granted. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Babafemi is a, Mr. Babafemi is a content creator. He's a medical doctor. He's a content creator. He's a content manager. He's also a pastor. All right, like a pastor. It's not like all these. It's not like all these. Honorary pastor. Pastor Femi is a pastor. So he's a man of God. You understand? So that's why I said he's a mentor and he's my own mentor, sir. So without further ado, please let us welcome Pastor Femi. Are you there, sir? Can you hear me? Please, you can unmute your microphone and speak to me, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you. So I'm going to be going on mute now, and you have the floor. All right. You can also share your screen. Your screen sharing capability is available. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. And Big Sam, just before I start, I'm already trying to share, but I'm not sure. Can anybody see my screen yet? I joined on two devices. So I joined on
No.
my laptop and my phone.
No, actually, I cannot see your
So I'm not
screen.
sure whether it's my laptop you gave sharing capabilities or my phone.
Oh,
The other name, apart from this one, is the
okay.
one that you should
So
allow to share.
actually, I don't know. I can't see your screen. I don't know if there's anybody seeing screen. Let me try and pin it. I don't think so. I don't think your screen is not being shared yet.
All right. Just give me a minute to set up. Good evening, good morning, everyone. It's really good to be here. I'm really excited for today's class. Honestly, I'm really excited. My screen is going to come up in a bit, and I'm just so excited about what we are looking at today because, like Big Sam said, as much as you focus on developing the skill, you also focus on doing the things that will ensure that you are able to maximize the skill that you have learned or that you are learning. And that's why I'm so excited. That's why I decided to use because I hope this thing looks like Nova University colors because it took time if I could find this color and design this slide like this. All right. The dangerous effects of procrastination and how to break free. Am I audible? If you can hear me clearly, you can just type on the chat that yes, you can hear me. I would really love to get that feedback as we start. If you can hear me, I'm looking through the chat so that I can know if you can hear me clearly or if I need to make any adjustments before we go right ahead. Thank you, Big Sam. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Kemi. Thank you, Kemi. Anyone else? Thank you, Encrypted. I hope you encode things. All right, thank you, Danny. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead. Now, this is just what we're going to be looking at today. I would like to rush through some things so that I can focus on breaking free. All right. First thing we're looking at is what is procrastination. Next thing is why procrastination is harmful. Then we'll look at what causes procrastination. I don't think you can see my screen again. I have changed my slide. I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing again just because of that. All right, so we'll look at breaking free. Then we'll take some questions, and you see, we'll just see how it goes today because it's really going to be a good time. All right. All right. So, what is procrastination? Why procrastination is harmful? What causes procrastination? Breaking free. Group some conclusions, and then we'll take questions. you are procrastinating. This is a definition I craft myself. It's the art of keeping up with yesterday. Keeping up with yesterday. Every day we set targets. Every day we say, oh, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do that. Oh, I'm going to do this week. And then the point comes where, for some reason, you can't do those things, or you don't do those things. And then later you're trying to return to them because those things are important. Now, every time you find yourself in that space, whether it's intentional or it's circumstantial, we won't get to that in this class, because you will see that there's what is called circumstantial procrastination. This is exactly what happens to, for example, if you're a student and you have a kind of lecturer that can just say, oh, we're having class by this time, and you already have things planned for that time. Because of your circumstances, you're going to have to procrastinate because you won't be able to do what you want to do at the time you want to do it. Yeah. So there's circumstantial procrastination. But whether it is circumstantial, whether it is intentional, as long as you are trying to keep up with yesterday, you're already procrastinating. The other definition I put here, I said it is the habit of delaying or postponing tasks that need to be done. The key word here is the word habit. Habit is something that you have built over time. So it's not just a one-off thing. It's not just, oh, I have this deadline, I'm supposed to do this thing, but I can't do it today. And then that's it. That doesn't happen again. It was just because of what happened at that time. Maybe, for example, because we're in Nigeria, you wanted to do an assignment and you had planned that you were going to do it maybe in the evening, and then your laptop was dead, you could not get fuel. Yeah. Now, that's not necessarily an habit, but someone that has made an habit of procrastinating is one that is always doing it, always delaying tasks, always postponing tasks that need to be done. In fact, many students are like this. They don't do that. We don't do assignments until the last minute. Now, I say we because sometimes, again, it takes a conscious effort to come out of these things. Sometimes I have to remind myself again that for where I'm going, I cannot afford this attitude and this habit, because everybody likes comfort. And I hope you will agree with me that you like comfort. If you don't like comfort, maybe you don't want to be on this call, because one of the things that will happen to you after you've learned with Nova University is that you'll be able to come to at least some degree of comfort, much more than the average person around you. So if you don't like comfort, I don't know what you're doing here now. Because we like comfort, many times we just find ourselves defaulting to procrastination. But let me show you something I saw. Now, I couldn't find the updated statistics for this thing, but I'm going to explain something for this. Now, imagine that as at 2013, that is how many years ago? 10 years ago. As at 2013, people with high levels of procrastination were said to be the ones that got the lowest salaries. They were said to be the ones that could not retain jobs. They were said to be the ones that even had a poor likelihood of getting employed or were underemployed. Now, think about that. Now, this was 10 years ago, when the influence of social media was not yet at its peak like it is now. This was 10 years ago, where there was no TikTok that is wasting people's times now. This was 10 years ago when people were not exactly spending the same hours people are spending on Twitter now. This was 10 years ago when Netflix still had limited capabilities. How worse do you think this thing will be now? It's not surprising that they say that the average Nigerian youth, even though he lacks employment, can actually not be employed. They cannot keep jobs. It is because many people are actually procrastinators. And we'll see what it does to us, because most people do not understand that when you begin to allow this habit, it does more than just prevent you from finishing specific tasks. It begins to tamper with something within you that prevents you from becoming an high achiever that you should be. So the reason why we are looking at this topic again today, considering this in this hangout today, is because we want everyone here to be high flyers. We want everyone here to be high achievers. And you cannot become an high achiever except you have successfully dealt with procrastination. I don't believe anybody here wants to be in the category of, let's just be managing 50K to 70K salary. I don't believe anyone here wants to be in the category of, you want to get a good job, and then after 3 months they're telling you, sorry, you can't stay here. After landing your dream job, they now say, oh, sorry, you can't stay. It can be disheartening. I hope nobody here wants to be in a category of unemployed, begging for bread and asking for urgent 2K from your friend that has not seen you in 6 months or heard from you in 2 years, but because you are hungry, you are now reaching out to the person, please, I have a request I need to make from you. Can you just, I hope nobody here is in that category, because it is procrastination that gets people there. So why is procrastination harmful? Let's just eat it now. This is not where we are going, but we are building. All right, we are building. Where I'm going to maybe spend some more time is when we get to breaking free, because I just need to show us a trend, show us a picture of what procrastination is actually doing to you, so that when we now say, how do we break free, you will see that it's something you need to be doing, it's something you need to be practicing, it's something you need to be thinking of. How am I going to be applying this to my own life? All right, so the first thing here is that procrastination decreases your productivity, your ability. Now, productivity is not about how many things you are doing. Well, let me correct that. Productivity is actually about the quantity of things you're doing, as well as the quality of things you're doing. So, for example, at the time, I'm running a master's program. I'm trying to build a brand. I have 2 full-time jobs that are, well, remote. I'm doing that remotely, but they are actually full-time jobs. I have 2 full-time jobs. I'm building a home because I recently got married. I'm actively involved in a traveling ministry. So I travel virtually every weekend. This weekend, I'm not traveling because I'm in another meeting in Lagos. Now, and I'm still very heavily involved in church. Now, being able to combine all these things, it requires that I be a certain kind of person, right? Now, if I'm successfully able to combine all of these things without one aspect, notice what I'm saying, without one aspect suffering, then I am being productive. That is quantity. But you see, there's also quality, because I've seen a place where people are doing many things, and you probably have friends like that. They are doing a lot of things, but they are not committed in any. They are not delivering in any. They are the kind of people that you give jobs to, and they don't deliver when they should deliver. Let me give you an example. 2 weeks ago, yeah, it's 2 weeks ago. In fact, the job is still ongoing now. 2 weeks ago, I had a very tight schedule. So someone wanted to give me a job. It was a writing job. It was oh, let me do this chapter and this chapter of this work. How much is it going to be? So I reached out to somebody I know that does that. I told the person I was not going to be available, but I was going to help her by just maybe being a liaison and monitoring the work that this person I'm about to talk to is going to give. Now, I told him how much was he going to charge. He was charging one. I said, no, you can't charge like that. Charge well. So he charged the lady 200K, and by my own negotiation, I was not doing the negotiation. I told her it's 200K. This is why it's 200K. And the agreement was that we'll get the work done in is this 7 days we said, or 10 days? I think in 10 days. In 10 days, we're getting your work done in 10 days. Before I said the 10 days, I asked this, my guy, I said, can you do this by this time? He said, yes. Can you do this by this time? He said, yes. We cannot afford to fail. This is a first-time client. Are you sure? He said, yes. Fine. 200K, I told her she has to pay 50% upfront. She wired 50. It didn't even come to my account. It went straight into his account. Now, this is where I'm going. Now, this person is actually, I understand, is the president of a medical student association in one of the universities in Nigeria. He's a researcher, so he does research. He's doing clinical postings, right? And now he's taking jobs. Now, this is where I'm going. Unfortunately for me, because I'm the one that is helping him liaise, this guy, he has not been able to deliver this job finally. We have missed the deadline by about 4 days now. And I've just been talking to the client, just, bringing up things, explaining why this happened. I had to just open up to the client yesterday, show her my chat history with this guy and say, see, this thing is not me. I don't operate like this. You have been patient. But this is what happens when people take quantity without understanding that quality is also important. Your ability to deliver on time, your ability to deliver well, your ability to exceed the expectation of your client. All of these things are affected when you're a procrastinator. So what happened? At the time when he was supposed to do the work, he said, that this weekend, last weekend, he said he was going to rest. So he was going to use the public holiday that was on Monday to do the work. And then the public holiday came, something else came up, and then he could not do the work. Because he missed when he was supposed to do that work, because he postponed when he was supposed to do that work, now we are having having an issue with him delivering something that we had agreed with the client. If I was to ask us on this call, do you think that client is likely to come back? I don't know about you, but if I'm the client, I'm not sure I'm going to come back. I'm going to look for somebody that is perhaps better, more serious, and able to keep to his word. That's what we are saying. When we procrastinate, our productivity reduces. And this is why our productivity reduces. Number one is that the truth is that when you are not giving yourself to the things you should be doing, you're actually giving yourself to some other things. So if we are saying, oh, I have this class I want to take on Nova University, for example, and you're saying, oh, I will take it next month. I will take it in 2 months. Now, don't let me take that course yet. I will take it in the future. Now, the more you keep doing that, it's not that you are not giving yourself to some other things. There are some other things that are probably taking your time. There are some other things that are probably taking your resources. There are some other things that are probably consuming the same efforts that you probably have been putting into the course. Now, because they are already consuming your efforts, your time, your energy, your mental and physical resources are being depleted. It's not like when you are saying you are not doing something, you are resting, or you are just relaxing, or you are just taking a break. It's actually that you are expending your energy, expending your mental and physical resource in some other direction. So what procrastination does to you is to make you spend your energy on things that are lesser. It is to make you spend your energy on things that are not as effective, on things that will not get you the results you need to get to where you want to get to. It reduces your efficiency and your output. Now, many of us, when we ask people and say, oh, set a year goal. These days, people say, we can't set year goals because we never keep it. If you ask people many times, and I've tried this many times, why they don't continue with the plans they make, it is most times because life happens and then they lose track of the things that they set as goals that they want to achieve. Life happens, they begin to procrastinate, and then they lose sight of the things that they set out to achieve. At every point in time where you cannot look at your goals and say, this is my goal. If I tap you from your sleep and I ask you, what are you pursuing now? You should be able to give me an answer and say, oh, this is what I'm pursuing. And then if I ask you, what are you doing to get to this point that you are dreaming of? You should also be able to give me it should be at your quick fingertips. But what procrastination does to you is that it makes you lose track of your goals, because obviously you are postponing things. Obviously you are shelving some things for some other things. What begins to happen is that you begin to lose track of them. But that's not all. It also has a psychological effect on you. It has a medical effect, a mental effect on you. Now, I don't know if you have, well, I think all of us, why am I saying I don't know? All of us have been students at some point or the other, if you are not still students anyway. Now, have you noticed how your body gets when you have a deadline? Okay, let me use exam. When exams just suddenly start approaching. Is it that you already knew that after 13 weeks of lectures, there's going to be exams? But because it looks still far away, you're just there, you're just doing normal lectures, watching your movie, going to class, reading a little. And then you finish lectures and they tell you it's 1 week to exam, and everybody gets into panic mode, reading back to back. I know some people, once it's that period, they will not be able to eat well. For some people, it is that they will start eating too much, they'll be binge eating, because that's how they cope with stress. Everybody's in a panic mode. You see people not sleeping well. You see ladies that sometimes even pride themselves in, beautifying themselves. They will not even bother to make their hair because it's panic mode. We have to give it all the time that it requires now. Everybody gets it. That's what it does to you. Now, what that thing does actually, when you now begin to look at it medically, is that it actually increases stress hormones in your body, and it begins to put you on, your anxiety begins to increase. And if you sustain this mode over time, you will be at risk of even developing, and they call it an anxiety disorder, where deadlines will just cause you to begin to panic, hyperventilate, and all those kind of things. People that sustain procrastination, people that they call them chronic procrastinators, they tend to have anxiety issues. Every little thing makes them afraid. Every little thing, every little deadline that you give them, they begin to, oh my God, oh this, oh that, oh this, oh that. And they never meet up, because what happens is that once anxiety sets in, you cannot really do work well. Anxiety affects your cognition, affects your cognitive ability, affects your ability to produce results excellently. And that is what procrastination does to you. It puts you in a plane where anxiety can eat you. Now, I don't know. Well, I've seen people, and I used to say that before, but now I think I'm more sensible now. I used to say before to people that I work well under stress. I work well under stress. So I will always leave things till it is almost stressful. I'll say I work well under stress. But you see, I have realized that stress is not good for the body. So instead of, even if I still maybe in my mind somewhere claim I work well under stress, now the stress that I work well under is the stress that I create for myself. So for example, if a client tells me a job should be due in 7 days, I start telling my brain that work is due in 5 days. Now, because I have put myself in that close place, in that stressful in quotes place, I still work better. Not that the seventh day will now come and I'll now be in a different mode. Now, the difference between the artificial deadline that I set for myself and that actual deadline is that the actual deadline causes more stress in my system than the artificial deadline. Of course, because even though you are telling yourself my deadline is 5 days, your brain knows that, well, your deadline is actually 7 days. So even though if you're a serious person that likes to deliver well, you may still feel some stress hormones rising, but it won't be as much as if it is actually the deadline. All right. I've flogged this issue well. Sometimes it leads to feelings of being overwhelmed and pressured. Now, let me still use this job that I said I was talking to you about. Now, the reason that lady had to give out that job is because she too had left it till very late. And so her deadline is almost here. So she fell sick. Also, she's still trying to handle the other aspects, but she realized what she was saying was that she was not sleeping well again. She was having insomnia, so she was not sleeping well. She was having what's it called now, migraine attacks, because her head was just banging. She would just wake up, her head is all over the place. All she can think of is, how do I finish this job? That's why she just said, well, I think the only way I can cope if I need to finish is to take some portion, keep up with that portion, manage that one, and give out the rest. Now, that's what happens when you procrastinate. She procrastinates to a point where now the work is overwhelming her and she's feeling pressured. And that's what procrastination does to you. Again, I need to let you know that procrastination can actually result in lowered self-esteem. If you do something when you should do it, there's a confidence that comes. There's a motivation. I don't know if you've ever set a goal and you achieved that goal. How did you feel after you did that? Maybe you want to drop that in the chat box for me. You set a goal and then you were able to meet that target when you said you would meet it. How did you feel? How did it make you feel? For most people, oh, I don't see anybody typing, but maybe I should just continue because we have not even gotten to where we are going. For most people, it will make them feel more confident. For most people, it will make them feel bold. Maybe because we're people here that are also learning skills. That's why I'm using clients. All right, that's why I'm using the language of client. Maybe a client gives you a job, and then the person says, "Oh, can I have this job in 7 days?" And on day 5, you are done. You have gone through that work. It is beautiful. How are you going to feel when you want to send a message to that client? You are probably even going to be a little proud and say, well, the job you gave me, I'm done with it. It's perfect. And I'm just going to send it to you now. Because you know that, well, it's 7 days and I'm done now. There is nothing you want to say to me that will touch me. There's a confidence that comes. But you see, when you are not delivering as you should because of procrastination, it begins to lower your self-esteem. Because thank you, encrypted. It says, I feel relieved and confident. That confidence is very key. There's this thing that just settles in your heart. But you see, it is the opposite when you're procrastinating. You'll be feeling guilty. And I should have delivered that job. And I should have delivered that, and I'm not doing well. Except you don't have shame. Except you do not have shame. You'll be feeling ashamed. Will this person be able to trust me again? Sometimes it can even lead to feelings of frustration. And if somebody has ever procrastinated on you, I'm sure you felt disappointed. Maybe you planned a meeting with somebody, and then at the last meeting, at the last minute, the person cancelled on you. You probably felt disappointed. That's what happens with procrastination. Again, it causes feelings of self-doubt, regret. I'm going to send a PDF with all of this after the class, so you can just go through this. Now, let me say this last one. It harms your relationships. Procrastination causes you to lose trust. Like this guy that I'm saying now. I've always known him. I've known that he has been doing this work I gave him for a while now. In fact, this same work that is charging 200K for now, I don't think he's up to a year yet. I just reached out to him that day because I saw that he was beginning to get jobs and all. So I reached out to him and I told him, how much do you charge? And then he told me how much he was charging for a particular length of work. And I said, can I see your work? I went through his work. I saw that he had the quality. So I told him, why are you afraid to charge higher? And then I told him that as long as he doesn't think he can, as long as he doesn't think he's worth that amount, nobody's going to pay him that amount. But the moment he begins to think that he's worth that amount, he's going to begin to find clients. And then he began to do it, and gradually, this same job that is collecting 200K for now is something that less than a year ago, he will have still been collecting. He will have been begging that the client should pay him 40K. And I mean this, 40K. 40K. I think at that time, because most of the clients are in Nigeria, I think at that time he was doing 1 naira per word or something, and now he's doing about 30 naira per word or so. It's still not there yet, but look at that difference. Now, that same guy is one I'm now saying that I don't think I can trust him with another job. In fact, I'm probably going to keep my ideas to myself next time, because although I'm still going to tell him that, guy, you don't do this with clients. But he has lost my trust. You have to work to regain that trust because of procrastination. You lose your respect. You lose your credibility. It has made me inconvenient because I don't like giving excuses to clients. I've had to, be giving excuses. Oh, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is what we're trying to do. This is how we're trying to solve this situation. And all of those things. It can create conflict. Thank God this particular client is even understanding. What if the lady had changed it for me? And I've worked with people like that before. They will just change it for you. And sometimes your pride will be hurt. But let's move ahead. Now, what causes procrastination? Now, I was reading, I drew this chart myself, and I ascribed different values to what you are looking at here, because I saw that these 4 causes, there are other causes, but these are the primary 4 causes of procrastination. You will find the reason why you're procrastinating in these things that we are talking about. There are 4 primary reasons. Now, this orange quarter here, this orange part that you're seeing here, is for poor emotional management. And I said that one takes about 25%. Now, what do I mean by poor emotional management? The reason why some people procrastinate is that they don't know how to handle their feelings. Let me tell you one feeling that people don't know how to handle: boredom. At one point or the other, you are going to be bored. It happens to everybody. But you see, because some people are bored, they think that the next thing for them to do is to binge watch a seasonal movie while they have deadlines to meet. It just means that you don't know how to manage your emotions, because you should know things you can do that will get you out of that place, get you motivated to continue to work, and then you will do it. And we'll still see some of those things very soon. Poor emotional management. Some people, maybe it's even that they get into fights with people, and then that fight just gets them in a bad mood, a sore mood, that they cannot even work well. Yeah, poor emotional. It takes about 25% of the reasons why people procrastinate. Now, look at poor time management. That one is the biggest. That one takes about, I think it's about, no, that's not the biggest. Okay, it's not the biggest, sorry. It's fear of failure that is the biggest. Poor time management takes about 30%. 30%. Poor time management. Poor time management. 30%. In a good day, some people cannot tell you how they spend their time. Now, just try. You don't have to answer. Just think back to the last 24 hours. How did you spend the 24 hours? Just wherever you are, just see if you can note it down. Just see if you can note it down. I've done this with many people, and some of them, they will just find out that there's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that they can't remember what they did. Actually, it's just that they are not trying, they don't want to remember. It's that they were on their phone chatting or doing something. They cannot just explain the value that was added or to that. Now, am I saying that there will not be times for rest? No, it is even when you are a good time manager that you allocate proper time for rest and you maximize your resting times. because rest is as important as work when it comes to being efficient and effective. All right, but many people do not know how to manage their time. I will see some time management techniques very soon when we talk about breaking free. Just stay tuned. Am I saying Big Sam said Netflix? I watch Netflix now. Let me let okay, my wife is not here, so let me let you know the thing. Now, normally I used to say, what are they? What do they watch in all this K drama? Because of course I'm a guy now. Why would I be watching K drama? But you see, I've had to be watching K drama because of my wife. And sometimes I'm like inside the movie, I'm watching the movie, but my mind is somewhere else, and I'm just like, oh God, oh God. And then I'm still watching the movie. I'm still watching the movie, and by the time we are done, because it's 16 episodes, time has gone. Average of 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Look at the length of time it will take me. And I am a curious person. If I start something, I want to know the end very quickly. It's a problem. Oh. So sometimes what I do is this. Once I binge watch like that, I will now lock up. I would just drop my phone. I can drop my phone in another room and stay somewhere and just walk. Once I binge watch stuff like that, I'll just cut down my sleeping time. If it normally is like 5 hours or 6 hours, I cut it down to 4 hours. Sometimes I even do 3 hours of sleep. And don't do it at home. It's not a good thing to be cutting. But when I'm now like that and I'm now having a headache, I'll now be telling myself, you wasted the time you are supposed to use to sleep to watch movies. So you will not sleep for long. That's the truth. This person knows strategies. He watches on times two speed. That's a strategy I use. Me, I just forward the movie anyway. I just skip. Once they start talking too much, I just skip. I just forward the movie. But we'll come to that when we talk about breaking free. All right, but poor time management will leave you with no other option but to procrastinate. Poor time management will leave you with no other option but to procrastinate. But if you have poor time management, you will not procrastinate. Anything. I just wanna lay on my bed. It happens to everybody. You are just not motivated to do anything. And again, when we talk about breaking free, we talk about something you can do for that too. Because what I've tried to do, and we'll see that very soon, is to look for things that methods that addresses all of these causes of procrastination, and then we'll talk about that under breaking free. The last one here is fear of failure. Fear of failure. Sometimes I'm like, the reason why I cannot start a job is how do I even do this job? And this fear of failure happens to you when you're always overreaching. And as a person, I like to overreach. I don't tell people that, well, maybe now I'm getting wiser because of stress. But many times I won't tell you that. I'll tell you, well, I've not really done this job. That's what I'll say. I've not done the job before. I'll say, I've not really done this job before, but it can be learned. Anything can be learned. But you see, that anything can be learned. After I now get the job, it will now become a problem. I'll now start wondering, hey, what if I don't do it well? Hey, what if this client does not like this job? And because of all that thought, I will not be able to start. And that's what happens to some people. Hey, everybody says they are making money with this course. Now, what if I do it now and me, I don't make money? What if I do it now and something happens? What if I do it now? Can I even learn this website thing that Big Sam teaches? Is it for me? Is it really for me? All this coding stuff that people are doing, like, I know they are making money, but can I really do it? What if I fail? At least it's only the people that are succeeding that we know. What about those that failed? Why must you be thinking of those that failed when you can be thinking of those that succeeded? Yes, that's the problem. So that fear of failure becomes a block, a mental block in some people's minds that prevents them from starting the things that they know that they should start. Now, some of you probably possibly on this call that you know that you should have taken a course with Nova University. You know that you should have enrolled, but oh, will I succeed? Will I make money? This thing that Big Sam used to say like this, is it really true? Like, I can make this amount of money just learning this skill and just doing this thing like this. And that thought becomes a mental block that prevents you. All right. But you can break free. That's the good news. Anyone, no matter how long you have been procrastinating, whether you are a chronic procrastinator or just a seasonal procrastinator. There are people, for example, I said seasonal procrastinator. This one is my own thing. There are people that I know, ladies, for example, that at some point in the month, I'm sure the ladies will understand, they feel like they just postpone things because of how their body feels, right? So they can't do things as they should in that season. The ladies should understand. So there are people they call seasonal procrastinators. So seasons come when they cannot do things as they should do them, and then they just try to postpone, find a way around till they get their body and all of that. But whatever kind of procrastinator you are, you will learn methods. So for example, you can procrastinate but you see, instead of learning methods, learn principles. For anything that you are seeking to learn how to do, don't just learn the method of doing them, learn the principles that undergird them. That's why, for example, as much as Big Sam is allowing you to learn skills, it's also bringing in self-development. Because if you don't develop these other areas, it's a principle. If you don't develop these other areas, you will have the skill and you will still not do the work. I know somebody. It was the one that did my logo as far back as 2019. International clients. He doesn't design anymore. He's so good with designing and all. But you know the problem? He can procrastinate. He has methods. So there's a way he does, there's a way he deals with things. He didn't develop this other aspect of his life about dealing with procrastination, dealing with learning how to stay productive and all these other important things, learning how to improve your creativity, all these other things apart from the skill. So he has the skill, but he doesn't have these other parts. So what happens to him? He knows the methods, but because he doesn't know the principles that guide success, the principles that make somebody successful, is unable to continue to make full proof of the work that he has learned and that he is good at. I know people like that. They can code, but they won't code because they don't know principles. So I'm saying that you will learn methods, though, they are important. But apart from methods, learn principles. Because the man who grabs principles can choose his methods. You can choose what works for you. But if it's just methods you learn and you ignore principles, you are going to have trouble. Let me explain this a little more. Now, I have okay, let me use content writing for example. Let me use content writing for example. Now, for a long time, I've been teaching people that if you do this, you'll be able, okay, personally, maybe let me just say this in person. This is not where I'm going, but it's related to what I want to say. I don't believe that all writers have writer's blocks. I don't believe it because I don't have writer's block. You cannot block. Why what we block it? There is a system that over time I've been able to engineer to ensure that there's always, if I want to write, I can write. It's not a problem. Yeah. Now, it's not because I learned how to write, the methods of writing. There are many people that know the methods of writing, but they don't know the principles around writing. So this is how I'm able to write consistently without having blocks. It is that when I am not writing, I am taking in, right? There's a book called Still Like an Artist. Yeah, that book, the essential thing that book says is that there is nothing that is entirely original to one person. So sometimes what you write, I'm using this in writing, but it's applicable in every field. What you write is a product of something you have seen. Maybe someone says something, and then that thing starts a thought in your heart, and then you now build on that thought. That thing was not original to you. So what I do is when I'm not writing, I'm learning. I'm picking. Maybe I see a quote that I like. I just file it somewhere. I write it down in my notepad. So the day I need to write, it can be that quote that I will start with and I just fly with it and develop it. Maybe I see something that interests me, I note it down somewhere. Maybe I see something that I don't agree with, I note it down somewhere. So that in the day that I want to write, I just come, look at my notes, my file, and I'm like, okay, these disagreements, let me go and write about it. And then I just put out my own thoughts, my own ideas there, and I'm done. right? Because I've learned the principle for continuously producing write-ups, continuously producing content. It is that when you are not writing, don't stop taking in information. Keep taking in information. So if I'm not reading articles, reading newsletters, I'm reading books, I'm watching videos, I'm listening to podcasts. All of these things are giving me information that when I need to push out something, I'm just taking them easily. I was showing somebody something. Well, in fact, now with AI, it's now even easier with all these generative text tools. I, I just planned content for, in fact, I just planned about 100 write-ups that I need to do on a particular topic, and that's not the only topic I write about. But on that topic alone, I have planned 100. So now I'm able to publish consistently on Wednesdays, because when it is Tuesday night, I don't have to be thinking of what am I writing tomorrow. I just open the file and I pick a topic and I start writing. Of course, I already have all the materials even to do the work. I'm not just searching. I'm not just searching on Google. I already have articles I have saved, bookmarked, and all of those things for those things. So I just pick them and I start writing, because what? I have understood principles. And you see how this applies to breaking free from procrastination. The first one is to acquire knowledge. Knowledge gaining is a principle. You know, here we said that fear of failure is one of the causes of procrastination. Now, one of the reasons why people are afraid is because they feel, like the example I give, that they don't have enough knowledge on that thing. The more knowledge you have about a thing, the more confident you become. It's natural. They say knowledge puffs up. What it actually starts off with is that it makes you confident. It makes you confident that anyhow we'll do this thing now. Is it not all right? It's not a problem. Is it not to design a website? It's not hard. Is it not to do graphics? It's not hard. Is it not to do a animation video? I know how to do it. It's not a problem. Acquire knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Oh, you've taken one course on Nova University. Take another one. I wish I could show us. I could actually show us that video. Let me see if I can. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a bit and see if I can pull up a video. Now, this video is from, there's a $5,000 course that I got partial access to somehow. The story is long, but that course is actually $5,000. Now, this video is from that course, and you see, I saw this video and it blew my mind. I'm telling you, it blew my mind, because they began to talk about something. Okay, I've seen the video. Let me see if I can just forward it. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to start sharing my screen back. I just wanted to show you a concept that they taught in that video that I've been applying, and it's so busy. And it's also to emphasize the reason why you need to apply knowledge. Oh yes. Can you see my screen? Yeah, that's the title of the video. Anti-fragility and post-traumatic growth. Anti-fragility and post-traumatic growth. And it talks about how that there's a triad. You are either fragile, robust, or anti-fragile. Now, what does this mean? The person that is fragile, when things happen, when situations happen, the person collapses. He loses it. The person that is robust is not affected by pressure. But you see, the person that is anti-fragile, that one benefits from stress. If you put them under pressure, they expand, they improve. And now, why did I come here? The more you acquire knowledge, they say, if I play this video for you, it's just that it's quite lengthy, it's 33 minutes. The more you acquire knowledge, the more anti-fragile you actually become. Let me go back to my slide now. The more you acquire knowledge, the more anti-fragile you actually become. The more you are able to adapt. So what I was saying before that made me go here was to say, you've learned a skill, Learn another related skill. I didn't say learn another skill. I said learn another related skill. Uh, okay. Can everyone see my screen now? You've learned a skill, learn a related skill. I learned writing, then I started learning about SEO. Right, those are related skills, right?
What's going
There's
on?
some feedback.
Sorry.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Learn a related skill. And thank God for Nova University. There are several of them that you can even learn just on this platform, mostly related. High-tech skills, relevant skills for the current digital economy. Keep acquiring knowledge. The moment you stop acquiring knowledge, that's when your problem starts. That's when procrastination will become an even greater issue for you. Am I saying just keep acquiring knowledge without putting them to practice? Practicing, effecting what you have learned has its own place. But you see, the place of practicing what you have learned does not erode the place of acquiring knowledge. It will never erode it. The more knowledge you acquire, the more confident you will become, the more motivated you will even be to do certain things, knowing fully well that if you give me this work, you will come back a second time. That's how I feel sometimes when I'm just like, if I drop my CV for these people, if they make mistake and call me for interview, I've gotten the job. It's not possible. Like there was a job I was trying to get. In fact, that job he annoyed me a big Sam, because I done stage one. Then they said I should come and do writing tests. It was not writing. There was grammar test, grammar, punctuation, and all of those things. I scored 85 over 90, and that 85 over 90 is because they gave me, I think they gave me 1 hour to do that thing. I finished it in like 30 minutes. So I was rushing and I still scored 85. I was so sure that this one, forget it. Guess what they told me after I finished? They said, you are too good for us. I've never seen anything like that before. Which kind of rubbish is that? They said you are too good for us. Because when they asked me how much I will collect from them, and I told them, they said, no, we can't afford to pay your money. It's one company in Israel like that too. And I didn't want to charge them plenty money. I just said, well, since I'll be doing it on the side, you can just be paying me $2,000 every month. I'm fine with $2,000. And they said, we can't pay you $2,000. That our budget for the role is smaller. So I said, okay, thank you. Even me, I'm not interested. But where I'm going is, the reason why I was that confident about that job and that opportunity was because I was not just a writer writing. I was not just using AI to write. It's good. We'll learn that. I use it, but I was not just doing that. I was taking writing courses. There's virtually no time I'm not taking writing courses, even though I write, even though I believe I write well, even though I'm always getting comments about my write-ups. I'm like, wow, how can you write so simply? But I'm still taking writing courses. I'm still attending classes. I'm still learning, because the moment you stop acquiring knowledge, that's when your problem starts. And before you know it, you're already procrastinating. Let's move on. Use time management techniques. Now, the beauty of these things I listed here is that they will both help you manage your time, where we identified time management as a problem, and they will also increase your motivation. Both of them. All these things I've written here: the SNO1 matrix, the Pomodoro technique, and the 2-minute rule. I believe Big Sam already shared this with us when I wrote them on the community platform. But just in case you still want to read about these things and you're not, I'm not going to dwell on them. I'm just going to maybe pick one, this 2-minute rule, how to use it to conquer procrastination, and just worry. All of these tools, the SNO1 matrix is about dividing what you have to do into the quadrants of what is urgent and what is important, what is important but is not urgent, what is not urgent, not important, and what is important but not urgent. There are 4 quadrants like that. Now, when you divide your tasks into that, it tells you what you need to be focusing your attention on per time, so that as long as a task, a thing, for example, movies for relaxation, can be in Q4 or Q3, depending on why you want to watch the movie. It can be in quadrant 3 or quadrant 4. So if it is in quadrant 3, where it is important but it is not urgent, I don't have to do it. I don't have to watch a movie now. Oh, I feel like watching a movie. Nice. But I'm not going to watch that movie until I've done what is in my quadrant 1, which is that I need to finish an article. It's easy. Oh, which is that I need to exercise this morning. Then I'm going to watch that movie. That's good. That's how to use Eisenhower matrix. I'll share the link to that article if you're interested in reading. It's quite a detailed article. You can read it later. Pomodoro technique. That one is Pomodoro means tomato. So the tomato technique is simply about time boxing yourself into short time sprints. They say that the human attention wanes over time. So if you are doing a task, when you are just starting out, you have a lot of energy, but as you continue to do that task, your energy begins to reduce, right? So what you do with the Pomodoro technique is that you break your work into 25 minutes. Do 25 minutes or 20 minutes rather. You take a break. That break can be a refresher, can be for you to munch something, can be for you to quickly watch a scene in your favorite sitcom, anything. You do it in that place, then you come back to your task and you keep doing it like that and like that. Then there's what is called the 2-minute rule, and that's the one I'm going to spend a little more time on. The 2-minute rule is too simple that you will think it does not work. Like, it is so simple that you feel like, really, just like that, this thing can help me to conquer procrastination. Because what it basically says is, if it can be done in 2 minutes, start it now. If it can be done in 2 minutes, start it now. So how does that work? Look at these 4 steps that I've listed here. I hope you can. Okay, I've tried to zoom my screen so that you can see it clearly. I said, number 1 thing is identify the tasks that you tend to procrastinate on. Maybe for you it is learning, maybe for you it is exercising, maybe for you it is reading. Whatever task it is that you tend to procrastinate on, identify them. It starts with identification. So it may be probably things that are boring to you, probably they are difficult to you, they are unclear to you, or you just don't like to do them because they are unpleasant. Now, scale them down. Scale them down. Don't say, I need to write a 1,500 word post. Say, write a sentence. So I'm sitting down, I'm bored, I'm thinking of what I can do to overcome my boredom, and I have a list of tasks I need to do. So I start picking them one by one. So instead of saying I want to complete the blog post in my boredom, I'm not going to. Now, I'm going to say something very soon. That is the reason why this strategy actually works. It is because of the way your brain works with you. Now, instead of telling your brain you want to write a 1,500 word blog post, if you tell your brain in that moment of boredom that you want to write a 1,500 word post, that's what you want to do, the fatigue you have is going to increase. It's going to double. Because your brain feels like, oh God, I'm already tired. How does this guy want me to go through another stress like this? But instead of saying that, you say, I want to write a sentence. Abba, anybody can write one sentence now. So you feel better about writing one sentence. But then the truth is, by the time you write one sentence, you feel like, okay, let me just write the next sentence. And that's how it works. 2 minutes rule. You break the large chunks of things that you have to do into very minute things. I need to code something. Okay, I'm going to write a line of code. That is a shorter goal that you can do in 1 minute. I'm going to write a line of code. Okay, I've written a line of code. Why don't I write it to the next break? Why don't I write it to the next page? And that's how you keep increasing it. Oh, you don't like cleaning your room. And there's a reason I included this example actually, because a disorganized, that was the last post I wrote about, a disorganized room actually also affects your productivity and can limit your ability to deliver excellently. So instead of saying, cleaning the room is stressful for me, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next tomorrow, why don't you start by saying, I will fold one wrapper, and then you fold that wrapper, and then leave it and do something else. Pick your tasks. Don't say, I will exercise for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. No, I will do one push-up. One push-up is not enough to get you the results you want. But one push-up is enough for you to overcome the inertia that causes you to procrastinate. If you're familiar with physics, you know the law of inertia. Things will continue to remain at a state of rest until acted upon by an external force. That's the same principle you apply here. If you don't start something, you cannot continue the thing to the point where you say you want to finish it, and so you will likely procrastinate. So the problem for many people is starting what they need to do, not continuing it. So what this 2-minute rule helps you do is overcome the problem of inertia. You overcome the problem of starting tasks, of starting the things that you need to do. Now, as soon as these tasks come up, do them immediately. Don't put them off. Don't make excuses. Do them right away. And then look at that last point, which is the important part. Say you will use the 2-minute tasks as a gateway. I'm rounding up now because it's 12, right? As a gateway to larger tasks. You will use the 2-minute tasks as a gateway to larger tasks. Because what happens is that once you start, you don't need to believe me. You just need to try it. After I wrote this post, I've gotten so many private chats from people saying, I didn't think that thing would work. I just said I should try it. And I've been able to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Like sometimes, even I also feel like sometimes like I look at it and I'm like, this thing is stupid. But that's how stupid it works. That's how stupid it is, but it works. It looks stupid. It probably is stupid, but it works. And as long as it works, I don't think it matters if it is stupid. Because once you start that task in that 2 minutes, what will happen is that you begin to feel more motivated. You begin to feel more engaged. And you can now either extend that 2-minute task and say, oh, I've done 1 push-up. Let me try and do 5. Oh, I folded 1 wrapper. Let me try and fold all my clothes. Or you move to the next task. Say, for example, you move to another task. You've claimed you folded 1 wrapper. Okay, let me write 1 sentence. You go to that one, and then you move to another thing. And then you come back. That variety spices up your life, reduces the burden. That variety reduces the thinking that, oh, this thing is difficult, because what you are doing is no longer the thing that is difficult. You have broken them down into easily manageable proportions. All right, so either way, you'll be making progress and avoiding procrastination. So we've talked about acquiring knowledge. We've talked about using time management techniques. The next thing I want to talk about is joining a community. Joining a community. A community provides you with an opportunity for accountability. A community provides you with support. And from time to time in our lives, we all need all the support we can get. We all need all the help we can get. We need all the encouragement and motivation that we can get. And that's what the community gives you. Procrastination is a lonely road that leads you nowhere. But when you are in a community, that community becomes the bridge that can connect you to your goals. Thank God we have a community here in Nova University. That's a community to belong to. All right. Don't just be an observer. Yes, be an active member of the community, and it shows. So, for example, when there are events, hangouts like this, be the one that spreads the gospel of the community. Interact with other people in the community. There are relationships today that are formed just because I belong to certain communities, and those personal relationships are now helping me in my ability to continue to do things on my own and to avoid procrastination. Oh, so there are people that will say, oh, I need to get this thing done, but I don't feel like starting. They'll tell you, let's do it together. Oh, well, I want to start a course, but I'm already stressed. And the person is like, let's do it together. How long should we finish? 2 weeks, Abby. All right, I'm doing it too. And then the person continues to ask you, how far? I'm already in module 2. And you're like, I'm the one that told you I want to do the course. How can you be in module 2? And that thing begins to push you. That's what the community does. All right, so be engaged in this Nova University community because it will help you. You will learn from here, but much more, you will build relationships that will outlast even that which you are seeking to learn from here. I'll conclude with this. Procrastination, I saw this quote by Edward Young, says, procrastination is the thief of time. Year after year, it steals till all are fled. If you continue to allow this thief of time to steal your time, it will steal your life. Because time is life. It will steal in bits, in pieces. You will be losing out and you won't know. You will miss a contract. You feel, well, it's one of those things. It happens and then anything comes. Do you know the importance of one client that is pleased? One client that is pleased with you because you delivered his work on time can change your story. Their job. So, for example, the first 4 books I edited for people, 4 books came because of the first book I edited. I edited 1 book. That one person referred me to one person, referred me to the second person, referred me to the third person. In fact, all the book editing jobs I've gotten, I edit other types of things, but all the book editing jobs I've gotten came because of the first job I did well and did on time. So when procrastination steals your time, it is not just stealing your time, it's stealing your life. And it will continue to steal in bits and pieces until you have lost out on everything, until you come to that state that we saw in that statistics that we saw earlier, where you are underemployed, you cannot retain a job, you are unemployed. But that will not be our portion in Nova University community if we can take these lessons seriously and apply them. I'm going to send the PDF compilation of these slides I've just used to Big Sam now. You can share it with the community, and you can go through it again. I'm sure you still pick 1 or 2 other things. And if you want to learn about these time management techniques I put up here, you can just visit the website there, definitionsbyadebajo.com. You see the full post there, and you'll be glad you read it. All right, so thank you. It's been nice doing this with you today. I don't know if there'll be opportunity for questions, but I'll just let Big Sam take over now. Thank you very much for doing this with me. Thank you for inviting me over Nova University. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That will be all.
Oh my God, please. I want every single person here, please unmute your microphone. We want to clap. Yes, I want us to clap. Please unmute your microphone. 1, 2, 3, go. Please keep clapping. Please, I want you to keep clapping. Please, I want you to keep clapping. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. You can mute your microphone now. You can mute your microphones now. Please make sure you mute your microphone. Please mute your microphones now. Mr. Solomon, please mute your microphone. Please mute your microphone. All right. Guys, this is awesome. All right. This is awesome. I'm not saying this is awesome because, because I have to say it. I'm saying it because me, myself, as I'm listening to the, to the lectures, my pain points are being addressed. Because I won't lie to you, I also do this procrastination thing that we are talking about. In fact, you would hardly find someone that does not procrastinate. In fact, in the middle of the lecture, there is something that I've been procrastinating on. And immediately I started. In fact, during the lecture, I opened the software I want to use to complete that task, and I started immediately. I have been procrastinating it. I've been thinking, you know what, I'll do it next week. Okay, this is weekend. I don't want to work on the weekend. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. So I've been pushing it for more than 3 days now. But thank God I started today, and by God's grace, I'm going to finish it today. All right. So do you see the effects of procrastination now? And procrastination can have a long-term effect on your life. If you don't keep it in check right now, if you continue like this, it will end up having a tremendous effect on your life. And that is something you have to curb if you want to be a great person in this life. That's one of the things you really have to put in check if you want to be an influential, especially if you want to be an influential person in this life, or even if you want to live a good life at all. You need to keep it in check. As much, I have said it in the beginning of the class, as much as we are trying to make money, our ability to make money will be dependent on, on the state of our personal life, on the quality of life that we live. And that is why Nova University is different from every other community you will be. You understand? So, I know you have questions. Even me, myself, I have questions. You understand? Even me, myself, I have questions, right? I know you have questions. I know almost everybody has questions, but we're going to take only 5 questions, please. All right? The first 5 persons to come to the chat section and type, I have a question, those are the people that are going to be taken. All right, the first 5 persons to come to the chat section here and type "I have a question." Those are the people I'm going to be taking. So please, you can come over here and type "I have a question." And if nobody has questions, we are going to, we're going to just call it a day. But if you have a question, please come to the chat section here. Type "I have a question." Okay, Yewande, Abdullahi. I'm going to be taking Yewande, Sandra. I'm going to be taking Abdullahi. Those are the 2 people I have seen. All right, so far, those are the 2 people I've seen so far. We are going to take your questions very soon. My own problem, let me tell you my problem. My problem is Netflix. Oh my God, my problem is Netflix. Let me tell you something, guys. I watch movie a lot. A lot. In fact, well, I've done a lot of things in my life, right? And I think I hold that to my incredible work ethic. So my incredible work ethic that I developed in Obafemi Awolowo University, right? So if you go to OAU has a way of, of giving you these amazing work ethics, right? I can sit down at a spot on a particular task and I will not stand up for more than 16, 17 hours. More than 16, 17 hours to stand up from my seat. I've sat down with my laptop for more than 12 hours non-stop without standing up at all, working on one single thing. And that is the reason that I've been able to achieve a whole lot of things that I've achieved in my life, right? Because of that work ethic. But there's another aspect of my life, which is movie. I love watching movie. If I sit down with movie now, I might not stand up. I might not stand up for several hours. It is just as bad as my work ethic. Netflix is not helping. Is not helping the situation as well, right? It's not helping the situation, right? Netflix subscription, I don't miss it. I watch movie a lot. I've seen, in fact, most of the movies you can think of, well, action movies, I've seen them. You understand? So as he was talking about it, as he was talking about things that, time management, I know that, no, this is my own. This is my own, and we need to check it. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. Watching a movie is not bad, but it has to be done at the right time. I might be watching a movie and I know that there's something that I need to do. But I'll be like, once I start, don't worry, I won't stop until I'm finished. And I will keep on, wasting time until the deadline is almost approaching. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to take questions right now. Yewande, are you there? Please unmute your microphone and talk to me. All right. Yewande, please unmute your microphone and talk to me. All right, you have the floor. We cannot hear you. I don't know if it is just me, but I cannot hear you. Is it just me? Can you speak
No,
up?
it's not just you. I can't hear you.
Can you speak up? I think she's saying something, but we cannot hear her. No, we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you still. I don't know, maybe it's network or something, but you can type your questions though. Please, if you can type your questions, please just type your question. I'll read it out. But we cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, Yewande. So if you can type your questions, it's okay, but we can't hear you at all. All right? We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. All right, so I think we should take... Please just type your questions, Yewande. You hear? Please just type your questions. Abdullahi... Okay, maybe perhaps she's in transit and there's a lot of, I don't know. But we cannot hear her at all. All right, so, Abdullahi, are you there? Abdullahi Alhaji. You can unmute your microphone and talk to me now.
Okay, thank you so much, Baba Femi, and also thank you so much, Big Sam, for this great opportunity we have, first of all. Then also my question is that I have a problem when I have started something that is very important, like this procrastination was annoying me. I have to say I will do it later on. I will do it later on. When I have started, just I will quit and start another one. That's I couldn't make something that is complete on the right time. I need your advice as what I have learned from you now to like guide me how to solve this problem. Thank you so much for this great presentation.
All right.
All
I
right.
think you should respond to that.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Now, thank you for that, Mr. Abdullahi. All right, so let me paint a scenario for you and use that to answer your question. Now,
Yes, sir.
again, I would like to remind us or remind us of the things I said cause procrastination. If you understand what causes it, then you can handle it and manage it. It is lack of motivation. It is failure. It is not managing your time well. Now, there are some other ones I didn't mention. For example, it is, say, for example, ignorance about what you want to do, which is similar to the fear of failure. I explained that fear of failure, but now let me go somewhere. Now, when I'm writing, for example, say I'm writing a novel, what most people don't realize is that you don't continue to read. I'm just saying, so okay, I say read. You don't continue to write a novel until you get stuck. Some people start writing books and then they get to a point where they get stuck and then they stop and then they never pick up that book again. It's because they were unwise in how they wrote the book. What you should do is you are supposed to write to a point where you know that this is the next thing I want to write, and then you pause. You don't pause at a point where you are blank. You pause at a point where you know what to do next, so that when you are coming back, you have overcome that inertia problem that I was mentioning, which is the starting problem. So what usually happens to many people is that they stop their tasks at the point where they don't know what to do next, or they stop the things they need to do at the point where they are finished, exhausted their energy, exhausted their mental resource, and they don't know what next. Now, you don't stop like that. If let me see if I can apply this, for example, to um I think there's this friend of mine that does animations. There's this friend of mine that does animation videos and all. So this is what he does. Now he has a phase where he's brainstorming ideas. That's brainstorming. Now the moment he has his ideas, he doesn't start the work. He brainstorms and schedules starting for another time when he knows what to do. Now when he starts out, the moment he's visualizing the thing he wants to do in his head, but he's not there yet. He feels like there's still some things he needs to do. It doesn't stop where he's stuck. Most of us stop where we are stuck. You don't stop when you are stuck. You stop before you are stuck, so that when you are starting with the energy of what you already know, and then your brain will have rested, your brain will have re-energized, your brain will have thought around that thing and charted a course for you. But you see, what happens many times is that, or maybe if you give me a more specific example, I'll be able to give you a more direct way you can deal with it. But what happens many times is this, that we try to do things till we don't know what to do again. Now, that one, if that's how you always approach things, you will always have a problem starting. But if what you are doing, because we've talked about acquiring knowledge, if what you are doing, you stop at the point where you still have knowledge about the next thing you need to do, then it will be easier for you to start. Another thing, I'm already answering for too long, and sorry, let me rush. Another thing that you can do is, you see that Pomodoro technique, for example, is another, it applies something similar to this thing I just mentioned, but in a different way. It does not stop when you know what next to do, it just stops. So it does not matter if I'm feeling gingered, I break it. 25 minutes, I stand up and I go do something that will not distract me from what I'm doing, but that will allow my brain to relax, cool down, and then I pick
Next one.
that's how you do your task. Don't just plan, don't say, I want to do this thing. Break down that big task. That's another thing you can do. Break down that big task into small chunks, and then you can handle each chunk as an individual component. If you do it that way, you will be less likely to procrastinate on that thing. But if you can be more specific, maybe we can talk some other time. I may be able to offer more specific advice on how you can deal with it.
All right, sir.
Okay,
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much.
I don't know if
Thank
Thank
I
you
help
very
you.
much. Mr. Abdullahi.
you. Okay, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Babafemi is on the group, all right? Perhaps you can type out your question in a more constructive way and just send it to the group. I'm very sure he will pick it from there and answer you. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir. Okay, so Yewande's question: what happens when you know you have a lot to do, but you have started early, but you are still scared? Like in a school setting, when you have started reading, but you're still reading the same chapter before exams. You are still reading the same thing all over and all over and all over again because you are scared. That's the question, sir.
Yeah, Yomande, thank you for that question. I've been there, but I think where how people get there is that I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. Is that you need to know yourself. There are people that are fast readers. There are people that are slow readers. There are people that assimilate very quickly. There are people that don't. There are people that once the lecturer explains in class, they already get it. So they just read a little and they are there, they are done. But there are people that the lecturer needs to explain like 5 times before they get it. It starts with knowing yourself. When you know yourself, you know what works for you, you know what you don't. And then based on what you know about yourself, you are able to pace yourself appropriately. There's already a calendar that the school has for when exams will be. That's why they always release that calendar ahead of time. No matter whether it's a shorter semester or not, they will still give you that calendar. It is so that students can plan themselves with that calendar. So if you are, for example, a slow reader, you need to read a chapter multiple times, then maybe you need to spend longer reading. Maybe you need to attend some tutorials to back it up. Maybe you need to look for somebody to explain it to you. Maybe you even need to, the little you have read, teach it to somebody. Because they say that if you want to remember something, teach it to somebody else. Now, those are different things that you can do, all right? But it is possible that exam will come and you're still reading the same chapter, especially if you don't start early and you don't know yourself. So start with knowing yourself, then apply the knowledge of yourself that you have to charting your calendar, to scheduling your reading times. There are people that, for example, they don't even know when they read best and when they assimilate best. As a student, you should know, are you a morning person, afternoon person, night person, on the road person? There are people that can read on the road, there are people that cannot. Know yourself, align to who you are, and you'll find out that this does not happen again. But if it happens, you will take it like that too, because you have gotten yourself to that point. You just have to manage it, just do final rush work and just trust that it will be enough. That's what I can see. So I can.
Oh, thank you so much,
Yeah,
sir.
that's it. This time there's another question on the group. I don't know if you've seen it on the chat. I
I don't
think
think
it's
I've
from
seen it.
Mr. Martin.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Martin is next. Martin Ayube. You are going to be. Are you there, Mr. Martin? Martin Ayube. Please unmute your microphone and speak to me now.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, good, good.
Yes, I am. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you very, very much for the session. Beautifully delivered and very, very simple to understand. Thank you very much. My question, however, is how do you manage the need for perfection? This is one for me. I'll say this is what really causes my procrastination. The primary reason why I tend to procrastinate, I want to have everything figured out before I actually get things going. Right. So yeah, how do you manage situations like that? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Now, when I first saw your question on the chat, I remembered something that I wanted to say earlier. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to come back to something you said. Now, one thing I've been doing recently to ensure I complete tasks is I've gamified it. I call it gamifying your task. Maybe you've heard the term before, gamifying your task. So I've turned completing my task into a game. For every task so for example, imagine now I can be a very playful person. Maybe that's why this works for me. It may not work for everybody. So for every task I complete, I give myself a point, maybe 10 points. So if I'm able to complete 10 tasks and get 100 points, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take myself out to Mr. Biggs or one eatery around, get myself a nice meal, drink, chill, relax, enjoy myself, and then go back home. Now, you know what that does to you? Because I have it gives me an extra motivation to finish. I don't know if somebody gets it. it gives me an extra motivation to finish, and it also helps me to get many things done at the same time. So if you're having problems finishing tasks, that's another thing you can do. You can gamify your task. In fact, you can use, they call it the cue and reward. There's another one, they call it the cue and reward system. That one, I think, is this James Clear guy that introduced it. The cue and reward system. What is it? For example, if I, so for example, I like to, like Big Sam was saying that Netflix, I watch Netflix too, Big Sam. And I watch a lot nowadays, because when the brain is hot, the brain is hot. You have to cool it down. So what I do is I tell myself, okay, you can only watch this movie after you have finished this task. Maybe because I can be like you, I know you too, you can do it anyway. I'll tell myself, and I will not, because I know that I'm still going to watch the Netflix. It's not running away, the movie is not running away. And I've agreed with myself that I'm going to watch it. It's just that if I don't finish the task, I will not watch it. So because the movie I want to watch, the enjoyment I want to enjoy becomes the reason why I actually finish my task, instead of being the reason why I don't finish my task. I don't know if somebody gets it. It's possible that because of that Netflix now, you now say, oh, I'm cool that, let me just watch this Netflix. And then that Netflix becomes the reason why you don't do what you're supposed to do. No. What you do is say that, okay, because I want to watch this movie, let me finish this task up to this point. So if I reach that point, I will reward myself by watching the movie. And then if you keep doing it like that, you'll find out that what should be your distraction actually becomes your motivation. Now, to now come to perfectionists, they say that perfectionists are in another category. People that like things to be perfect before they start out, they tend to procrastinate, and that is true. That is true. But I learned something from this popular YouTuber, Ali Abdal. That's his name. I'm just going to type his name on the group. For Yewande too, that asked the other question about reading and you are still not ready, Ali Abdal has some nice YouTube videos on how to read very quickly and understand, how to assimilate very quickly. Very practical things that will even help you read faster. But that's not where I was going. I learned something from him. He said, perfection comes on the journey. Now, that knowledge that I gained, it delivered me from many things. That's how I'm going to answer you, Mr. Martin. That knowledge that perfection comes on the journey. Because after I came across that statement, I now began to look at it really. There was nothing that I thought, oh, I had it all figured out before I started, that turned out that I actually had it all figured out. Eventually, I realized that I still had to make adjustments along the way. And I'm sure you've probably seen similar things happening with you. That even though you eventually started when you said, okay, I think I've gotten all these things figured, I think I have everything I need. You started and then realized that you didn't have everything. So if that is still what will happen eventually, so why don't you just start? There's no solution for the perfectionist that you realize that perfection does not start at the beginning. Perfection comes with the journey. Perfection comes as you step out. Perfection comes as you do it. So if you are waiting for perfection, if you are waiting for perfect conditions, if you are waiting for you to have everything before you start out, you are going to spend time delaying. You are going to experience a lot of delay there. I think that's how I can answer that question. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
In fact,
thank
I
you very
suffer
much.
from the same thing. I suffer from the same thing actually. You wait for the entire situation to be perfect before you start, but there is no perfect time. You tend to figure things out when you as you do things, right? In fact, most of the things that I've done, as you have said, like even the things that I carefully plan out, when I start, I see that all the plans that I've made, they're actually garbage, and I have to come up with new plans to suit the situation that I'm in now when I started. So thank you so much for for talking about that. So my own personal question is that how does multitasking affect your productivity, and how does that lead to procrastination? Because to me, I think it does lead to procrastination to me, for me actually, because this is the kind of person that I am. Let's say I'm working on a project right now and I'm trying to load a module, right? Maybe I'm trying to load a software and the software is taking a while to load. As it is loading, I just, okay, there's an email that I need to quickly respond to. I quickly open that email and as I'm responding to that email, right, the software that I was hoping is already done. Then I go back to that software to check something, initiate it so that the second part of the loading continues, and then I go back to my email, start typing the email and all that. So I realized that by the time I'm going to go like maybe 30 minutes into my task, my taskbar is already filled up. The number of tabs that I have opened on my browser, I might have more than 30 tabs open from my browser, and we are going to have half completed tasks. Everything is half completed, half completed, half completed, half completed, half completed. The email that I'm typing, I did not finish typing it because I had to go back and do something else because the email is not loading fast, or maybe I'm trying to look for something. So this is affecting me. What advice do you have regarding that? And what do you think the way out is? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So there's a school of thought that says that multitasking is actually a sign of procrastinators. In fact, let me see. I'll see if I can search for that. It's an old article by Forbes that says that multitasking is an act of procrastination. I've come across that before. So if you find out that you're multitasking, like you said, it's really just you procrastinating in some form, and the only way around it is to not do it. Now, I used to be in the school of thought that, the reason I keep saying these things is because your school of thought will change as you gather knowledge. That's another reason I emphasize acquiring knowledge. I used to feel like I was a guru for being able to do multiple things at the same time. I used to feel like, I'm chatting, I'm typing, and I'm able to keep up a good conversation with somebody, and I'm writing an article, and I'm still jumping on a call with somebody. I used to feel like, wow, I'm such a good guy. Until I started reading scientific articles, and I realized that multitasking actually reduces, number one, it reduces the efficiency of your brain. It's like, I don't know, okay, I think I can use the electric grid to explain it. There's something called cognitive overload or cognitive load. Cognitive load is the amount of, okay, let me use the example you gave. It's the amount of tabs that your brain can open at the same time, right? Now, what it means is that as you are opening more tabs, you are allocating mental resource to each thing that you are doing at the same time. So what happens is that your cognitive load begins to reduce. What happens is that the efficiency of your brain begins to reduce. So if you are constantly dividing your attention between multiple tasks and you are not giving your attention to one task, your cognitive function actually reduces. So you will not be able to process things. Again, think about that laptop analogy. You'll not be able to process things the way you'll have been processing it if it was just that one thing you were doing. Again, multitasking actually reduces your attention span. So if you start out doing many things, exactly what you are feeling, exactly us that people who multitask have a hard time. In fact, if you have been multitasking, you will always have a hard time even focusing on one single task. Because if you are focusing on one single task, you will feel like you are not doing anything or you are not doing much because your brain has become accustomed to that switching. But this is the truth. It will take you time to readjust. It will take you time to readjust to one task. So what you need to now start doing is constantly reorienting yourself to say, well, even though this thing is not loading now, I would rather be spending this time to relax. I would rather be spending this time to maybe if you incorporate that 2-minute thing, okay, it's not like I won't open that tab now, but I will do this thing. I'll write one line of that email now. And you've noted it down that it's just one line you're writing. And then when the thing goes, you can easily return to it. But if you bombard your brain with stimuli, you are going to suffer from reduced attention span, and you're going to suffer from reduced brain efficiency and stress, high stress levels. How do you overcome multitasking? Just stop multitasking. Instead of opening 30 tabs, I'm not saying you should just start out by opening one tab. It's gradually. Okay, instead of doing 30 tabs, why don't I just do 10 tabs? Okay, why don't I see if I can just stay with 5 tabs? Stay with 3 tabs. Okay, let me just stay on the tab I'm working on. And that is it. So it's gradually you are going to reduce it to a point where you are doing only one thing at a time. Another thing that helps is if you are a person that schedules things and works with your schedules. If you schedule things and you work with it, instead of opening that thing now, because you know you already have a time scheduled for it, you're probably not going to touch it. You're probably going to do something else that is not scheduled, something that may not be as important, like catching up with a friend or something. And that one will not take as much mental toll on you as doing that task that you will still have done later. So if you schedule things, that's scheduling is essentially you spreading out what you need to do over a period of time. You are less likely to have issues procrastinating that comes from multitasking. Thank you, sir.
Want to say we are really grateful, sir, for taking out your time to come and speak to us. And I want to say, on behalf of everyone, we've gained a whole lot. Gained a whole lot. For example, this, opening of many tabs thing. I'm very sure I'm not the only one that suffers from it. I would say most people, most tech people, right? Most tech people, they suffer from all this. They suffer from this as well. And I noticed that it used to cloud my head, and I won't even know where to find what, because so many things in front of me right now, and I don't know even where what is, right? So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And please, I want you guys to come to the chat section here and let us type thank you, Mr. Babafemi. Let us type thank you, Mr. Babafemi. He has been so helpful. He has been so helpful to us, and we are really, really grateful, right? We are really grateful. This class is also recorded by God's grace. It is recorded, and it is going to be added to, the web design master course by God's grace. If you have taken the web design master course, you will see that there is a whole lot of self-help stuff like this in the course. Right? Because I believe that as you are learning the skill, you should also learn, how to properly live your life in order to be an high-achieving person. So, we are going to compress this, upload it on YouTube, and add it to our course. Do you understand? So, if you've not yet enrolled for the web design master course, this is what I'm going to be doing just for today alone. Just for today alone, I'm going to reopen our discount, right? I'm going to reopen our discount. If you want to be a member of this community, this one is a public lecture actually, and it is open to every single person. So that is why you are able to be here. There are some hangouts that we do that only community members have access to. So you will do well to be a member of Nova University. This is what we enjoy in Nova University, right? And my goal is to look for resourceful people and bring them here to come and share with us. And by God's grace, we have been doing well. A whole lot of people, in fact, a whole lot of people are sharing testimony every single day. People are changing their lives. People are, people are improving the quality of lives that they live, and that is a testimony that I'm so happy about, right? I am really, really proud of what we have built together in Nova University, and I can only say thank you to people like Mr. Babafemi that that makes this possible. Thank you so much, sir, once again. So this will be the end of today's class. If you want the replay, all right, if you want the replay, just you can come to my DM or you can type it on the group that you want the replay, but I don't want to release of course we are going to release the slide publicly, but I wouldn't like to release the replay publicly because I would want it to be a Nova University member kind of kind of material, right? So yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you everyone. This will be the end of our hangout today, so you can start leaving. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Babafemi. Really appreciate. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, if you have not, also if you've not completed your web design course, this is a wake up call for you. This is a wake up call for you. If you are yet to complete your web design master course, there is a lot of you here that you've enrolled for that course and you never finish. Try. Even the new one, the new updates that we have right now, most of you, you've not gone through it. You are missing a lot. You are missing a lot. All right. So maybe I spoke to one lady yesterday or day before yesterday. She was telling me that there's a whole lot that has been going on in school and she has not started her course at all and she's going to start soon. I'm like, okay, this is the procrastinator. This is the procrastination that we are talking about, right? This is the procrastination that we are talking about. Procrastination has a way of dealing with you seriously, right? Especially, in fact, see, we do well. They are procrastinating because I also procrastinate. But when there is a deadline, right? When the deadline is approaching, there is a way I get this massive energy to just finish things before the deadline. I'll just go into this God mode and finish everything that I need to finish before the deadline. And it works. But there are some things that does not have deadline on them. There are some things that we do in our life that it is personal to you. You dictate it. Nobody is enforcing anything on you. It's not as if there is one boss somewhere that is telling you if you don't deliver this job, you are fired. Or there is no client that is on your neck. There is no person on your neck trying to push you to deliver. Those things are determined by you. What of the tasks, the things that actually matter in your life, that it is you that dictates when it gets done. And if you don't do it, no one will actually, no one will actually beat you or something, right? And these are the things that will determine your future happiness. For example, you want to start exercising, or for example, you want to start a new business, or for example, you have to take a course. You want to take a course, or you have that course in Udemy. That course, if I ask all of you to open your Udemy account right now, you will see a wall of shame, uncompleted courses. As I'm talking to all of you, I'm talking to myself as well, because I have more than 4 to 5 courses that I've not even started at all on Udemy. Although I've completed a lot, but there is still some of them that I just buy. I just bought it during during the massive discount that they used to do, and I left it there, and I did not even complete it at all. Do you understand? We are procrastinating one way or another. And this needs to change. It needs to change now. Because if you want to be a great person in life, if you want, go and look at Tony Numelu, go and look at Aliko Dangote, go and look at all those top people, except if you want to be an average person for the rest of your life, there's no problem. Procrastinate away. But go and look at all those top people, every single person at the top of their profession, every single person that is making huge waves in their life. Go and look at them. All of them, they are high achieving people. All of them, they've gotten their life in check. And it is not something as stupid as procrastination that should stop us from achieving what we are supposed to do to achieve. It's not something as needless as procrastination that should stop us from being an A-class person. Some of you want to travel out. You've been thinking of, okay, yeah, people are traveling out. I'll do it next year. I'll start the processing next year. And the next year becomes another next year. And then another next year becomes another next year. Because you feel like, where do I even want to start from? Start from somewhere. Start by asking the question. Start by asking someone, how do they do this thing? You will see, by the time you are going to ask 3 people, you will see a clear path forward. All right? So whatever it is that you've been trying to start in your life, start it today. Start it today. In fact, put your leg, dip your leg in the waters right now. Dip your leg in the waters. Dip your leg in the waters and start. Use that 2-minute rule. That 2-minute rule, it works like magic. It works like magic. Once you start, to stop is a problem. To stop, you will kind of feel somehow in your body, and you just want to continue doing it. You just want to continue doing it. So, I'm happy that most of you've listened to what Mr. Babafemi has taught us, and I just hope that this has a positive effect on your life. And again, as I've promised you in Nova University, we'll keep on bringing resourceful people. I try as much as possible to surround myself to surround myself with people like this. People that are doing well. In fact, I have another friend of mine that I've already spoken to. He is going to be talking to us about accessing, foreign opportunities right? He's a software engineer in delivery Europe in a company in Germany. Currently lives in Germany with his wife, right? So he's going to be telling us some of the things that he did in order to get to where he is right now. Do you understand? So these are the leverages and these are the opportunities that you guys have as Nova University students. You don't know him, he does not know you. Do you understand? My friend, that my friend, you don't know him and he does not know you. But you are going to get to hear from him and learn from him because of the bridge between you guys, which is Big Sam and Nova University. Just by being a member of Nova University, you are going to hear from him. And if his story inspires you and you want to follow the same route, you now have a mentor that you can follow. You don't have to do it on your own. You can come to my DM and say, you know what, Mr. Big Sam, I would like to do this for myself, and I can connect you with him. Okay, follow a step-by-step process to get to where you need to go. That is why Nova University is a mentorship-based learning platform. The person that is teaching you has already gotten to where you want to get to. And that is the difference. You understand? So, again, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Me, I'm going to be working on the task in which I've been procrastinating. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of this weekend. I don't know about you. So, thank you again. Thank you everyone for joining, and that will be all. So you can start living now. God bless you. That will be all. All right. So that all. Bye bye everyone. Tolua, Towolawi Kemi, Franklin Chisom, Rofiat Azan, Joseph, Martin Eyube. Thank you for joining as always. He has never missed an hangout, and I really, really love that. Thank you so much. Jeremiah Nisi, God bless you. Encrypted. We don't know your name. Is your name encrypted? Anyways, all right. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. I'm going to be ending the call now so that we can all leave. All right. Bye, everyone.